What's up, guys? I'm sure you see a lot of videos like this on YouTube. People do them all the time. The new insert current year, uh, print on demand, whatever. Um, this is actually an important video because stuff has actually changed in print on demand. This isn't just one of those, oh, new updated, even though it's the same video they had last year. So I'm going to talk about recent changes in print on demand and my new strategy going forward. I've been doing basically the same strategy since 2020 when I kind of started taking print on demand seriously. And so this is actually a big change for me, and I'm just going to go through the different things. So what's changed? The two biggest changes is Redbubble and Tpublic. They have basically just cut earnings. So Tpublic, to a lesser degree, they're just basically have a tier system where most people are probably going to just earn less money per sale, and then Redbubble is the worst of the two. They're not only have they raised prices on certain products, they do that periodically, but now the profit you were getting, they're going to also take a fee out of that if you're not in the higher tiers. And for most normal print on demand sellers, we're not going to be in those higher tiers. We're not the professional curated artists, featured artists type people that they're going to be giving the benefits to. And so, well, what does this mean? Basically, that we're just going to be earning less money from Redbubble and Tpublic, and we need a new strategy going forward. Some of the other things that have changed is over the years, there's just been more competition. We've had issues with tag spamming on Redbubble. It's just a lot of struggles that we have now that we didn't have a few years back. So what's going to be the way we move forward? So I'll start with talking about Redbubble and Tpublic. So for Redbubble and Tpublic, these are now going to be my testing grounds. So there's some other sites we can sell on. Of course, there's going to be a lot of benefits to these other sites, but Redbubble and Tpublic are still going to be the easiest to upload to. So this is, one of the problems we've had is that there's such a low barrier to entry on these sites. So we'll use that to our advantage, and if you're testing out a new design, a new niche, if you want to just upload random stuff and see what happens, Redbubble and Tpublic is the place to do it. I'm no longer going to recommend scaled designs. So my previous strategy a year or two ago was create big batches of scaled designs, automate the uploads, and hit 50 designs on Tpublic, hit 60 designs on Redbubble. Redbubble lowered its design limit for the day down to 30. So already we can't use that same strategy to the same effectiveness, but they're kind of seemingly taking a stance against automation and spamming scaled designs with these new tier systems. And I've also heard a lot of stories about people using automation and having their accounts closed. So no longer the strategy. And yeah, there's just more competition on these sites, especially Redbubble. So I think that focusing more towards higher quality, lower quantity designs is going to do a lot more than continuing to spam scaled designs. Next one I want to talk about, I haven't really mentioned a lot, but Zazzle. This is the first print-on-demand site I heard about and I signed up for way back in 2017 when I was just kind of dabbling in print-on-demand. And this one's been actually doing really well. So I uploaded a bunch of designs back in 2017, 18, 2019, and then I didn't touch it for like 3 years. And then I was making, occasional sales, but then recently I've been making a lot, like multiple sales a month with only a handful of designs I uploaded 3+ years ago. But the strategy here is different. So you're going to want to focus on like printables that are customizable. So these are things that customizable. Hopefully I spelled this right. So these are like wedding invitations, greeting cards, things like that. Those are, customizable mugs, insert your own text, insert your own picture, creating templates for customers to customize and then purchase. That's really what Zazzle is known for, and that's kind of their specialty. So you might be able to use some of your designs that you've used for other sites, but you're going to hit Zazzle with different types of things. So just to keep that in mind, it's not exactly something that you just push all of your existing designs to, or add it to the list of stuff that you upload to. You kind of have to go into it with a unique strategy, maybe create some unique designs. That's what I'm doing. But definitely underrated, and something I wanted to recommend. It's something that I'm getting back into since it's been doing so well. All right, next is going to be the more active print-on-demand sites, as Greg Gottfried would call it. So the two that I'm working on is Etsy and Shopify. So Shopify, I'm still building the store. I've got most of my designs up, but it's not something that I've made a bunch of sales in yet or anything. I've just started to build it and promote it. Still got some work to do on it, but Etsy's been doing fine. I kind of took a break from it just because I was more focused on the scaled designs, and the designs I was putting onto Redbubble and Tpublic were not the kind of designs I was going to be wanting to spam to Etsy, pay the listing fees for all these scaled designs and all of that. So it was kind of two different types of designs for each platform, and since I was focusing on the scaled strategy, Etsy was kind of like extra work, but the profits are there as long as you make sure you price your products at the right price range. So I price higher than the rest of the competition on Etsy, because not all of them are using print on demand in your same niche. It's not like a only print on demand site the way that Redbubble is. Everything on Redbubble is print on demand. So the pricing strategies people use, they're kind of all playing the same game. But with Etsy, you might have someone who bulk ordered a bunch of shirts and can sell them for a lot lower than your, one-time custom printed on demand shirt. So be aware of that. Also be aware of the fact that you have to pay a print provider, so like some Printful or Printify, and then you also have to pay Etsy's fees, plural. So not just the listing fee, the transaction fee, off-site marketing fee. There's all these things. So give yourself a big chunk of profit. That way you're not going negative, or you're at least earning something, and so that the work you're putting in is going to be worth it. So Etsy's a great place to start. I would recommend doing Etsy before you start Shopify. Get used to learning about customer service, just dealing with orders, things like that. Printify versus Printful. Printful is good for beginners. I would start off with that. Haven't used Printify as much, but I'm gonna be using Printify with my Shopify store, and then I'm gonna keep using Printful for Etsy. So I'm just gonna kind of see which one I like better, and then maybe I'll move everything over in the future to whichever one I pick. Amazon Merch on Demand is going to be the last one to talk about. Not much has changed, other than they increased their prices recently, so just increase your prices so you can still earn a lot. Sales have been great. You just got to get out of the lower tiers. You got to get in, you got to get out of the lower tiers, and then you can just keep tiering up, making sales. It's been pretty good, pretty hassle-free. The only issue with Amazon is they're the strictest when it comes to content policy, copyright, trademarks, things like that. So just be careful. Keep a list of stuff that gets rejected so you don't do it again in the future. Trademark check your stuff. And the strategy for Amazon for me has been similar to the strategy I used on Etsy. So higher quality designs, fewer quantity, because upload slots are just limited. I'm not in one of the tiers where I can just spam tons and tons of designs all day long. So for all of the sites I'm using now, how many is this, 5 or 6? Well, not including Zazzle. Zazzle's kind of its own thing, but Redbubble, TeePublic, Etsy, Shopify, Amazon. Those are my 5 where most of my designs are going to. So I'll make one design and then I'll upload it to all 5 of those. And overall, the strategy is fewer quantity designs, higher quality designs. These types of designs have just sold better for me. If I really focus and create something that looks great, it's pretty much guaranteed it's going to sell somewhere eventually, which is really awesome. So yeah, find good niches, focus on learning design. If you have to hire somebody, hire somebody. Yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Ryan Hoag's print on demand community. I've been really enjoying it. I highly recommend joining something like that so you can get that one-on-one specific advice, because it's one thing to just watch a YouTube video and be like, I don't know if this applies to me or not, but to get your questions answered directly, it's really cool. So yeah, Ryan Hoag's in there. He's one of the big POD YouTubers. I'm in there. Love helping people out. It's fun to just get on live streams with him and talk about print on demand, what's changing. So I'm going to leave a link in the description, so go ahead and click that and check it out. I think it's definitely worth it, and I'll see you next time.